My name is Ryan Ostrom, and I'm the Director of Engineering here at Praxent. From time to time, folks ask us, how important is my technology decision? Does it really impact my strategy? In the short term, probably not so much. In the long term, absolutely. The most important and relevant reason why technology affects your strategy has to do with your ability to hire capable developers who have the tools they need at affordable prices 3, 5, and 10 years from now. Now, nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody can tell you which technologies are going to be popular with really great community support in a few years. But we do have some leading indicators we can look at to try to ascertain which technologies have the best shot at being much more widely adopted with great community support. The better we can be at choosing technology that does have better developer support in the future, the more likely that we're going to keep our costs down by A, having better developers for lower cost, B, having more off-the-shelf solutions instead of having to invent everything ourselves, and C, having better support and maintenance from the whole community at large go into your application. Today, we thought we'd share just a few tips and tricks at how we look at some of those leading indicators to see which technologies may have the best shot at being relevant in the years to come. For the example today, we're actually going to look at front-end technologies, React, Vue, and Angular. Let's dive in. We have 4 tools that we're going to look at today. The first tool is something anybody here can access, Google Search Trends. With Google Search Trends, we can look at any keywords like React, Angular, and Vue, and we can compare the trend over time of how many people are searching for those keywords. This is an indicator about who's trying to learn about these tools, who's trying to figure out more information about them, and maybe who's looking for resources or maybe getting started with programming in these tools. Our second indicator is from a Stack Overflow 2018 developer survey. It's a very lengthy survey. I'd encourage anybody out there to take a look at it. There's a section in here that specifically covers front-end libraries and frameworks by popularity. We can see here, React appears top of the list with Angular near the bottom of the list. Now, in this case, Vue never appeared in these search results. This was back in 2018 before they really had their rise in popularity. Our third resource we're going to look at today is something really simple called GitHub Stars. Now, every library, framework, package out there has a GitHub repository, likely, and on that GitHub repository, we can see some information that developers have contributed, such as the GitHub Stars. GitHub Stars are an indication from developers that they really like this package. So one of the things we can do is we can say how many developers are leaving stars out there. So in this particular case, we can see React has about 157,000 stars with 31,000 forks. That means 31,000 people have forked this repository and began making their own changes, meaning they like it and they want to use it. Let's contrast that to Angular and Vue. Vue has 173,000 stars, so actually more stars, but less forks, 27,000. And finally, Angular, 66,000, far fewer stars, and far fewer forks at 17,000. Our fourth and final tool we're going to show you today is NPM. Now, in JavaScript world, when we find off-the-shelf solutions, almost certainly those are deployed, provisioned, and downloaded through NPM, which is short for Node Package Manager. NPM tracks how many downloads or installs per week a given application has. Now, these downloads don't just refer to new users who are acquiring this, kind of like an app from an app store, but it actually is a pretty good indicator of how many people are currently using this. Here's why. Anytime you deploy an application, that application, if it was architected in a more sophisticated manner, is redeploying all the packages and libraries, which means it has to re-download your package like React, Vue, or Angular from the source, which is NPM. So when we look at NPM, we get 2 things. A, an indication of new users, and B, an indication of active users. Let's take a look. React, about 8 million weekly downloads. Vue, about 1.8 million weekly downloads, about a fourth of the amount. And Angular, about 559,000 weekly downloads. Far fewer. Coming back to our Google Search Trends, our NPM data, our GitHub Stars data, and our Stack Overflow survey developer data complements what we found here in Google Search Trends, which is React is trending the most, Angular and Vue trend below. Now what we've seen that doesn't necessarily reflect itself here is Vue is actually trending even more so than Angular. We see a decline from Angular and an incline in Vue. We could go into more detail why, but we won't today. There's a lot of other market research out there you can look at to try to ascertain which libraries are progressing the best and are the most likely to be relevant in the future. These are some of the tools that we use. Now, when we look at the market research, what we find is in the front end, React and Vue are really the two popular frameworks if you're going to build a web application. On mobile, we tend to find React Native and native, meaning actual iOS or Android native. And on back-end applications, that is APIs, we tend to find right now .NET Core and Java, sometimes Node.js, are trending. These are the applications, frameworks, tools that we see that are trending, and it changes every day. Make sure that when you're working with a development partner, they're thinking about things in this way. They're equipping you with the information to go out there and do the market research yourself, and they're bringing the findings to you as well. In the long run, you might save yourself quite a bit in terms of timeline and budget by choosing the right technology today. Thanks so much. Have a great day.